MotorWeek is made possible by Rock Auto, Tire Rack, and Die Hard.
You know, you'd think that with sales of domestic luxury cars doing nicely these days, the folks at Cadillac would be all smiles. But thinking about the future is producing some glum expressions around GM's Prestige division. The traditional Caddy buyer is getting ever older, and Cadillac is having a tough time attracting the affluent young to the fold. It seems that current buyers couldn't give a hoot about sportiness, but that's exactly what the youngish, upwardly mobile lust for. What to do? Well, the small Cimarron sports sedan was supposed to be one answer, but so far it hasn't exactly set any sales records. And Caddy's often rumored megabuck Italian sports car may still just be all talk. So current reality has forced Cadillac to turn its considerable engineering talents to putting some sport into one of its more handsome Luxo boats, the Eldorado Coupe. And here's what they wrought. A car that's proof that time doesn't stand still. Take a long look at this black knight of the highway. Also available in a hue called Sonora Saddle Fire Mist, that's medium amber metallic to us, the Eldorado Touring Coupe's trim is strikingly simple. Most chrome has been replaced with body-colored inserts. The oversized 225/70 tires stand out nicely on cast 15-inch wheels. And a solid gray-black rocker panel molding runs the entire length of the Eldorado's now clean slab side. But the real treat about the Touring Coupe package is what you can't see. Cadillac's Touring suspension system includes larger front and rear anti-sway bars, higher effort Powerball type steering, stiffer springs, and more responsive shock valving. And all of it works wonders. An average speed through our slow slalom of 43.7 miles per hour rates good for any car and better than most. There's still lots of body roll, but steering is quick, precise, with little plow. If you remember that the Eldo is front-wheel drive, you're even more impressed. Through these irregularly spaced cones, our Touring Coupe refused to lose all its composure, even when the pathway was barely wide enough for it to pass. But the Touring Coupe isn't a sports car, and the limits of its handling ability can be reached all too quickly. A too zealous tug on the large steering wheel, followed by an equally forceful attempt to recover, produced this quick but controllable spin. Even with the standard car's very cushy ride, you can still put a lot of faith in its overall agility. But acceleration times reflect the Eldorado's obvious birthright. While shifts are smooth and reasonably crisp, 0 to 60 times were only average at 13.1 seconds. In addition, the standing quarter mile produced only a fair showing of 19.3 seconds at 70, partially because the 4-speed automatic overdrive is the only transaxle available. However, since you always feel like you're going slower than you actually are in this 3,830-pounder, too much power might just bring too many citations. At least a typical passing time of 5.4 seconds from 40 to 55 was in dead center of our acceptable range. The Eldo's brakes, however, did a splendid job. With 4-wheel power disc, pedal pressure was solid yet easy to manage. Stops from 55 averaged a surprisingly short 128 feet. Rear-wheel lockup, typical for a front-wheel drive car, was always manageable with only modest tail twitch. Fade and pull were never a problem. The only engine available with the Touring package is the aluminum alloy 4.1-liter V8 that Cadillac introduced in 1982. Output is modest at 135 horses and 200 pounds of torque, with fuel delivery through a pair of computer-controlled throttle body injectors. Despite the maze of hoses and wires, the small 8 fits easily into the Eldo's long engine bay. An onboard diagnostic system should also help dealer mechanics find most power plant problems quickly, but probably not cheaply. Nothing cheap either about the Touring Coupe's single-color interior. From the smallest power switch on the door to the telescoping and tilting wheel, everything says Cadillac. Unfortunately, it also means you get fuel, range, and speed readouts only. International buyers at least have their choice of English or metric. The luscious-looking leather-covered bucket seats have multiple adjustments, but not quite enough side support for our taste, making it easy to slide off your perch in a turn. The Touring Coupe also has a nifty twin-welled storage console between the seats. Like all Eldorados, the dash is laden with plastic wood, but of an unusually lifelike quality. Proper, I suppose, since here it surrounds one of the most lifelike sound systems you can buy, the renowned Delco Bose cassette receiver. The 4 speakers, each with its own 25-watt amp, are matched to the car's interior design. The system works far better in the Eldorado than in more cramped cars such as the Corvette. You'll have no trouble hearing it either. At 55, we recorded only 65 quiet decibels. And although we doubt most owners will use the Touring Coupe's back seat, at least it's roomy enough for most possible preoccupations, as is the trunk. Our 4 bags fit in with no problem, though space would be far more usable if it weren't for the center-mounted spare tire that always looked ready to fall. Though the Touring Coupe is hardly a fuel sipper, we have little problem with the EPA mileage ratings of 18 city and 28 highway, nor our test loop average of 20, given the mission and the clientele of this car. But what impressions did it leave with our own jaundice-eyed crew?
The Eldorado Touring Coupe is not a performance sports car, but for the traditional Cadillac buyer who's looking for a sportiness and suspension, along with a tremendous sound system, the Eldorado is absolutely terrific.
Frankly, I thought the Eldorado Touring Coupe was going to handle something like the SS United States, and I'm surprised. It's quick and it's confident, and frankly, for a big whale of a car, it's a lot of fun.
All in all, we have to come away feeling good about this $25,000 Country Club racer. It has no real faults, but we're not sure it's what Cadillac needs to attract a new, younger market. It's still awfully big. But we did enjoy our visit with the Eldorado Touring Coupe and made others' aspirations of Cadillac ownership a lot more understandable. And we'll see you next week on MotorWeek.